Most people think eating healthy and building muscle can't coexist. I'm here to tell you that's not true. Here is how you eat for health and to build muscle. This is Nutrition 101. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking it down into 5 categories that you can easily implement to get better gains and be more healthy. First up, we have protein, one of the 3 macronutrients. Now, why is protein important? Your muscles need protein to repair themselves and build more muscle. So what else does it do? Well, it keeps you full, helps with hair, skin, nails, all that stuff. And of course, well, it builds your muscles. The best recommendation is to take your body weight in pounds, right? 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Going above this can be utilized if you're cutting and you need the extra satiety and also to preserve as much muscle as possible. But going beyond this got diminishing returns. Your body can only use so much protein. What kind of sources should you be getting your protein from? I'm not here to demonize whey protein, seed proteins, and vegan stuff. But in my opinion, your protein should be coming from meat, fish, eggs, chicken breast. Make sure that your protein sources are coming from whole foods, very minimally refined meats. So try to avoid eating gabagool and stuff for your protein.
Fat and nitrates.
Gabagool, over here.
Number 2, I have another macronutrient, fats. Now, in terms of fats, you want to be aiming for about an absolute minimum, I'd say, 60 grams of fat a day if you're going to track it. You need them for hormones. Your body needs them to produce testosterone, cholesterol, very, very necessary for your overall health. So aim for a minimum of about 60 grams of fat a day, coming from sources like avocados, extra virgin olive oil, egg yolks, and a little bit of nuts. Try to avoid getting your fats from processed foods and seed oils. They're nowhere near as good as you think. Fattier cuts of meat and fish are also useful, so salmon, fattier types of mince. Just be aware that fat has about 9 calories per gram compared to 4 calories per gram for protein and carbs. So it's a lot easier to overeat, which is a good thing if you're trying to gain weight. Just eat more fat, more oil everything. Number 3, got the big boy, the energy source, carbohydrates. Carbs come in a few different sources. You've got potatoes, fruit, grains, and seeds. Carbohydrates are very important for your energy. Your brain and your body crave carbohydrates to use for their energy source, to help recover and to help perform to the level you need them to perform at. Yes, low carb diets can work, keto can work, but for the vast majority of people, it's easier and better to consume carbohydrates. Look at anyone who's an elite athlete. Most of them are consuming a lot of carbohydrates. So I'd be shooting for a minimum. I wouldn't go below like 150 grams unless you're really dieting hard. Just make sure your carbs are coming from decent sources. Organic potatoes, organic fruit juices, like sourdough bread, white rice. Quick carbs, maple syrup, and raw honey. They're better than table sugar. Just avoid like drinking Coca-Cola unless you really struggle to put on weight. The 4th category, gut health. Why? Because the gut-brain axis is a thing, and the more diverse and healthy your gut microbiome is, the better you will feel and the better you will perform. Prebiotics, probiotics, and fiber. Prebiotics are what feed your gut bacteria. The best way you can get them in is through eating onions and garlic. They have a lot of a compound, or at least garlic does, called anulin. Then you got probiotics. This is actually consuming foods which have the bacteria in them. Fermented foods, stuff like kimchi, fermented yogurts, sauerkraut. Then we got fiber. Fiber can be broken into soluble and insoluble fiber. Soluble, like the name, it can be digested. Insoluble cannot. Soluble fiber actually slow digestion, good if you're cutting. So foods like fruits, psyllium husk, grains and whatnot. They've got insoluble fiber. This is just used to add bulk to your poo. Passes through, your body can't really digest it. Comes from stuff like potato skin. What should you avoid then? Generally avoid ultra processed foods if you can. I'm not trying to demonize them here, but stuff like junk food, seed oils are all filled with a lot of ingredients And a lot of them we don't actually know what the long-term implications are to your body and your gut. Stuff like preservatives, artificial sweeteners, etc. They can be detrimental if they make up a very large amount of your diet. These chemicals have only really been studied in isolation and not in conjunction with other chemicals over long periods of time. Yes, they might be safe to be consumed in a certain amount in isolation, but not with a lot of other processed foods for a long period of time, and then individual differences. So as a good rule of thumb, try to limit, if you're going to eat ultra processed things, to one ultra processed item a day. And that's a lot harder than you think, and I'm not going to sit here and say I do that, because I struggle with that. Instead of the Monster, replace it with just black coffee. Instead of consuming chips, just consume a salad. Try to avoid ultra processed meats like cold cuts and like pre-made meats, because they have a lot of nitrates which will give you cancer. Generally, the best way to avoid ultra processed food, buy the ingredients yourself and make stuff at home, because then you know what's going into it. We live in a world where unfortunately there's way too much of an emphasis on convenience rather than people's health, and a lot of people aren't aware of the damage that this can do over years and years and years. And like I said, I'm not trying to demonize ultra processed food, just saying there is research and there is anecdotal evidence that it's generally not going to be the best for you in the long run. This is what you should do if you want to eat for health and to build muscle. Include high quality organic protein source with every meal. That could be eggs, egg whites, fish, steak, pork, as long as it's a high quality protein source. At least 60 grams of fat a day, coming from whole sources, extra virgin olive oil, avocados, salmon. Then you want to fuel your training or your performance with carbohydrates. That means consuming whole food carbohydrates before and after you train. So this could be a small handful portion of rice before you train, and then a banana after you train. Eat fruit every single day. Emphasize whole foods. Whole foods contain vitamins and minerals that we need to survive. Don't just look at protein, carbs, and fat. Look at what the food you're eating contain. Drink plenty of water, hydrate, consume salt. Salt isn't bad. I'll do a video on that. Try to eat garlic and onion with every meal if you can for prebiotic effects. Consume a spoonful of fermented food a day for the probiotic, and then consume fiber from sources like fruit, a little bit of vegetables, and grains. So if you can do these things 80 to 90% of the time, you're already ahead of most people and eating better than most people. Think about it. If you're doing that, you're already doing more for your health than most average people, and more for your health than most supplements will do for you. Your body is a temple. What you eat, you will be. Don't be like me and eat too much KFC. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please share, please like, please subscribe. Thank you for supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great day. And remember, all publicity is good publicity.